Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do
I know
now.
that one.
We know that one. We know that one. Everybody knows that one. And of course, the one and only Kimberly Brooks knows that one because she was a Hex girl. Man, oh man, we got the one and only Kimberly Brooks. Like I said, coming on the show, she is an amazing voice actress that everybody has heard her voice before.
Oh my gosh, and I'm just thrilled because I love that. And woo boy, do we have some news for y'all. Like, in case you didn't know, there's this little show called Yellowstone.
Teeny tiny.
By Tyler Sheridan, who's basically like the god at Paramount right now.
Literally.
All of his stuff. We've got news about all of his stuff. We got that. We got news from Warner Brothers. We got news from Disney. A lot of exciting news. A lot of pickups. A lot of renewals. I think you guys are going to be really happy with. So, and of course, Spider-Man. Because anytime there's Sony, there's Spider-Man.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, man. If it's happening in Hollywood, we are talking about it. But before we get into that show, now here's a word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Self-Pause, a self-affirmation meditation app that helps you start your day, stay motivated, and love yourself. Because you guys know we have been talking about this subject a lot with our guests on the podcast about staying mentally prepared for the entertainment industry and how to do that when preparing yourself for life. So this app, Self-Pause, is definitely a way to keep your mental health on track.
Absolutely. And here's the really great thing about it. It's available in the App Store, so you can get it no matter what you got, what kind of phone you got or whatever. And they offer two different tiers. There's a free tier and a premium tier. Now, if you're worried about the premium tier, guess what? You can try it out free for 2 weeks, 14 days, and then it's only $3.99 after that a month. I mean, to keep your mental stability and to keep positive and that's worth it.
Exactly.
Totally worth it. You guys need to check this app out. Do it. We love it. I think you will too.
I really think so as well. Selfpause.com, and like he said, Google Play and the App Store on iOS, iPhone systems.
Yes.
But now it is time to get this crazy show started. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, we're on episode 183 this week. Wild, man. Absolutely wild.
You know what's right around the corner? 200.
Whoa! Crazy. It's going to be a crazy year for that.
It's going to be huge, and we're going to hit it this year. It's going to be amazing. I don't even know. I don't know how to feel about it.
I know.
It's amazing and scary.
At the same time. Life is full of those freaking events, man. But we got a great show for you guys this week. But before we get into that, you guys know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouth.
Voila!
We're so super excited. We got a lot of good stuff because, like he said, we love Yellowstone. Like we talked about last week, we are all in on Tyler's freaking universe that he is building over there at Paramount, and it's absolutely amazing, including Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. That one is so badass as well. And we might have a guest from that show coming on later this month. Little tease. But we're super excited about today's show because we have everything that's going down in Hollywood that will just help you further educate yourself about the entertainment industry. And man, oh man, before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We have basically anything and everything underneath the sun when it comes to merchandise. Valentine's Day is coming up. Guess what? We have the little cute stuffed bears with our Valentine's Day designs with the heart and all the good stuff. We have shirts, we have hats, we have little buttons. We just got buttons in ourselves with Girl Power Antoinette. We have that design as well. If you follow us on social media at Crazy Ant Media or at ITCAFpodcast, you will see all of our designs.
Aprons. If you're cooking up something good for your lover,
yeah,
we got an apron, you know? Just like literally everything. And here's a little tease. No, not right now, but really, really soon, and this guy's really good at doing what we do. We just said we're huge Yellowstone fans. Well, guess who else is? Bonk.
Bonk is.
Yeah, he's been running around the place dressed up as a cowboy. So,
that's for sure.
We're going to put that on a little shirt. Get that out there, that crazy mother. He's like, his lasso. Can't stop him. Can't stop him.
You really can't, man.
So check that. That's coming.
Exactly. Well, I mean, let's get started, man. We're freaking excited. A lot of stuff is happening. Of course, we have to start with the juggernaut Disney. And oh boy, the LA Law sequel series that we've been talking about on the show. Pilot at ABC has added John Harlan Kim to its cast. Kim joins previously announced returning original series cast members Blair Underwood and Corbin Brinson.
Guys.
Yeah, exactly. Kim will star as Chad Park, an up-and-coming attorney at the firm described as Shark in Training.
Ooh.
Whose ambition sometimes gets ahead of his ethical standards. Nevertheless, he's a brilliant attorney who takes on every first murder trial and must devise an inventive legal strategy when his client drops the bombshell in open court. We never want that. That's never good. No. Don't go off script, man. Kim has most recently been seen in Fox's hit drama 911 as in the role as Albert Hahn. Yeah. So a lot of people know him from that one.
Definitely. And I mean, that's good. That's great casting. I'm really excited. I was a huge fan of the original. I'm glad it's coming back. I'm glad they got a couple of old school guys back. And Jimmy Smits.
There you go.
Hoping Jimmy Smits will come. But that's not it. ABC's also given a cast contingent pilot order. Thinking that means if they don't get the people they want, they're not giving this thing a go. But,
exactly.
So let's hope they get the cast that they want because it sounds really interesting. It's a drama called Will Trent. Now, this is actually based on Karen Slaughter's best-selling novel series. It focuses on Special Agent Will Trent of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, otherwise known as the GBI. He was abandoned at birth and endured the harsh coming of age in Atlanta's overwhelmed foster care system. Scary enough growing up in Atlanta in the wrong part. You got to be in foster care. That's even worse. But now he's determined to use his unique point of view to make sure no one feels as abandoned as he was. By the way, Will Trent has the highest clearance rate in the GBI.
Oh.
This just sounds interesting. Anything to where you kind of can show a guy coming up in a bad time and overcoming and being successful. Any type of those stories I think work really well. And I'm fairly certain they're going to shoot it in Atlanta.
Oh, shit. I mean, what's not shooting in Atlanta? Let's be honest about it. Well, Doogie Kamaloha, we love this one. It's on Disney Plus. Well, officially got the renewal about the reboot adventures of the 16-year-old mixed-race girl juggling adolescence and the prestigious medical career in Hawaii. And like I said, it got renewed for a second season, the half-hour family-friendly medical dramedy starring Peyton Elizabeth Lee in the title role as Lehala. This is an absolutely amazing show. Watch it with your family. You're going to cry damn near every other episode. It's definitely worth it. And it was originally released on the streamer back in 2001, November 10th. But like we said, it's on there right now. So catch up with season 1 so you can be ready for season 2.
And it's definitely one that you can watch with the family because your parents or they're probably huge fans of the original. And like myself, I was a huge Doogie fan and jumped right in on this. And it's just as endearing and just as awesome as the original. So yeah, you guys definitely need to check it out. Now, I can't ever say that I was a huge fan of this one. I just wasn't. I'm not a fan, just never got into it. But a lot of people are, so this is pretty exciting for a lot of people. The new Goosebumps TV series has apparently been picked up by Disney+. The new series version of the beloved R.L. Stine books was first reported as being in the works back in last April. Disney+ has apparently given the show a 10-episode order. The series follows a group of 5 high schoolers who unleash supernatural forces upon their town and must all work together thanks to and in spite of their friendships, rivalries, and pasts with each other. Now, that sounds all kind of cool right there, but they have to do that in order to save the town and learning much about their own parents' teenage secrets in the process.
In my opinion, the books were always better than the adaptations.
Yeah, so, But Disney Plus is funneling a lot of money into these shows, everything pretty much on Disney Plus has been pretty cool.
Agreed.
So
The only one that we haven't gotten into is that John Stamos basketball one, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, so I wouldn't be surprised if that one's not renewed.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I was really bummed that Turner and Hooch did not.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But I'm loving Josh Peck on How I Met Your Father, so I'm okay.
Exactly. It's all good. At least we get to see him.
That's right. And he might be the daddy.
Who knows? This next one we're very excited about because it was long rumored and then finally confirmed, and now we finally have a release date. And I'm talking about Hocus Pocus 2, just wrapped filming and will premiere on Disney Plus on Halloween. How perfect is that?
Wow.
And according to executive producer Adam Sankey, Hankman. While the film's release date has not been officially announced, Disney confirmed in a statement that Hocus Pocus 2 will debut at some point during the Halloween season this fall. Halloween. Come on now. Come on. But we're super excited about that one. I rewatched it for this upcoming Halloween, so it was badass.
Oh, yeah. Now, I am really pumped about this one, too, because have you guys been watching Yellow Jackets? Oh, freaking my goodness. If you haven't been watching it, jump on that on Showtime. Melanie Linsky, freaking maybe the best I've ever seen her, and she's phenomenal in everything. This show is creepy. Like, the first 5 minutes in it, I was like,
oh.
Okay. So why am I excited? Because Sophie Thatcher, who you guys know, is in that show. She's like the huge breakout star of that show. Well, her and Chris Messina are apparently set to star in the 20th Century Studios adaptation of Stephen King's short story, The Boogeyman. Now, guys, I've read that. The Boogeyman is scary as fuck. I'm just going to be able to tell you it's scary. But there's a little twist on this. The film will debut on Hulu with Rob Savage set to direct, and production's expected to start next month. But here's the thing. The film originally was developed by 21 Laps as a Fox film, but now has shifted to go to Hulu. So that's interesting. Casting is set to start early next year. Now here's where I say a little twist. The original story, the one I'm telling you, is scary as fuck. Now that one was about a man who visits a psychiatrist where he recounts how his children were each killed by the title character of the book, the Boogeyman. The film, however, is going to follow a teenage girl who's still reeling from the tragic death of her mother and finds herself and her brother plagued by a sadistic presence in their house and struggle to come up with their grieving to get over it. So, little bit of a different twist, but the Boogeyman is the Boogeyman, and I'm guaranteeing still scary as shit.
Yeah, that sounds dark as shit, but I mean, a lot of people, we're kind of like in a new age of horror, so I think that's very exciting, and a lot of new stuff is coming to age, and I think a lot of people are excited about it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not, we're past, I think, the 80s, well, except for Scream. Scream did really well. I was going to say, the slasher, cut 'em up horrors. These are all like mentally psychotic, crazy, scary shit. That's the horror now, and that's like creepy.
Exactly.
But, you know.
It's awesome, though. It's really
awesome.
It
is awesome.
Speaking of Hulu, they have delayed the Orville Season 3 premiere from March until June, but the streamer released the first few minutes of footage from the new season, and as a consolidation, consultation prize to fans for their long-awaited, they're waiting for the show to return. Everybody's super bummed about it. And new episodes, McFarlane's epic space adventure series, it's a long time coming, and as the show has not aired its new installment since the second season finale at Fox back in April of 2019, the show was shifted from Fox to Hulu because there was a lot of talk about this one being canceled upon its third season renewal, where it has been much delayed, like we said. But a lot of people are loving this one. I mean, it's kind of a comedic take kind of on Star Trek a little bit. Not in the Star Trek universe, but it's a comedic take on that type of content. And, I mean, Seth MacFarlane absolutely loves it. He loves working on this type of content, and it's really paying off for him. So I'm excited.
I'm excited to finally see it back, too. I know it's pushed a couple months, but, you know, if you watch the first few minutes of the footage, it's fantastic.
Agreed.
It's going to be worth the wait. This is going to be awesome, too, because I'm a huge fan of Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And I love his documentaries. I love his filmmaking style, so I'm super pumped about this one. Spike is set to direct a multi-part documentary on athlete and activist Colin Kaepernick. Now, as you guys know, Colin Kaepernick took the knee in protest for Black Lives Matter and everything. All kinds of heat, you know, and just all kinds of stuff. But has gone on and has done a lot for messages and for, you know, and has really become a spokesperson for the movement and has done a lot of great things. So I'm super excited that Spike is going to be telling his stories for ESPN. Production's already started on the documentary, which was first announced actually way back in July of 2020 as part of Kaepernick's first look deal with Disney. So I'm pumped. I mean, can you get first Ava, right? And now Spike. Dude knows how to pick them to work, with people. I'm just saying. Good for him, man. Good for him.
Exactly. And Colin, I drafted you on Madden, bro. It's cool. I picked you up. You were in free agent. I picked you up. I mean, you know, the scheme didn't fit. I went with Marcus Mariota. It happens, but it's okay. Going over to Warner Media and the Bunny. This one's very interesting because it's kind of like new age Jaws. But, I was actually surprised to see this one was getting a sequel, and I'm talking about The Meg. You know, the one with Jason Statham? Yeah, that one. And it's coming back, and it's a shark thriller. The Meg has begun shooting production in the UK. The film about a murderous 80-foot fucking crazy-ass shark is directed by Rebecca Helmer, Ben Wheatley, who takes the reins from John Turturro, who directed the first installment of the franchise, which took in about $530 million worldwide. So, I mean, it did pretty decent.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Statham and Bing Bing Lee are expected to reprise their roles in the sequel. Statham as a U.S. Navy recruit diver, Jonas and Lee the oceanographer, Su Yin. So, I mean, I guess a lot of people liked it. I personally never saw it, so it's hard for me to give my opinion on it. I can only give my opinion on the trailer, and like I said, it looked kind of like a new age ripoff of Jaws.
Yeah,
so.
I watched it. It wasn't as bad as what you would think it would be.
Yeah.
It was okay. Nothing over the top great, but nothing, horribly bad. By the way, a couple of things. It's going to be called The Meg in the Trench.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, everybody's going in the trench. Aquaman's going in the trench.
Yeah.
Apparently that's where you want to be. And I did not know this. Doing some research on that story, I did not know that before he became an actor, Statham was actually a world-class diver.
Damn. Okay.
No fucking clue, but okay. This one I know we're all excited about, and who isn't, because everybody loves Zendaya. Sorry, Tom, but everybody loves Zendaya.
It's true.
HBO Max has announced that Euphoria, the Zendaya-led, of course, scandalous and visually sensational Sam Levinson series, will in fact return for a third season. The Emmy-winning high school show was a shoo-in for a junior year renewal. Why? Because along with the intoxicating amount of social media traction and buzz it generates every week, the first 3 installments of season 2 have nearly doubled per viewership compared to the same in the first season. So that's huge. Season 2 finale is actually going to end on February 27th. So I'm thrilled that it's coming back. Maybe Tom will get that cameo.
Yeah.
They are working hard to try to make that happen.
They're trying to figure it out.
Come on, Sam. Get that in there. He said he would be fine just being a guy in the background.
Exactly.
He just wants to be there. So, I mean, just make that happen.
It's so fun. It's so fun. This show is absolutely crazy. But yeah, let's put Tom in somewhere.
Tom Holland, background actor.
Exactly.
Atmospheric. I mean, come on.
Exactly. HBO Max also announced that Joseph Morgan and Franca Ponente have been cast as series regulars in the season 4 of Titans. Well, you guys know we love this show.
Oh my God, so good.
Lisa Ambilavenar.
There you go, Ambilavenar.
Hey, that was really close.
You were.
Will play the recurring character role. Season 4 was first announced at DC Fandom on October 16th of 2021. Of course.
By Nightwing himself.
Morgan will play Sebastian Blood / Brother Blood, an introverted man with a strong intelligence and hidden darker nature. Potini will play May Bennett, a.k.a. Mother Mayhem, a natural leader who always carries the threat of violence with her. May is a predator in a human form and with unfettered belief in her mission in the world. Now, that other person, who I got the name correctly the first time, and I'm not going to do it again because it was perfect the first time. Why would I say it again? Will play Jinx, a quick-witted criminal loner and a master of dark magic with the joy of manipulating others and creating chaos while doing it. They sound like badass characters.
Oh, dude, look, Brother Blood is one of my favorite all-time Titans characters. Bad guys. He was in Arrow for a little bit, but I wasn't keen on the interpretation. I just think Titans is going to nail him.
Yeah.
They hinted at him this past season, so you kind of knew he was coming, but he is a really badass bad guy, so I'm super excited. And Jinx is fun.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really good.
For sure.
Hey, if you were looking forward to the Boondocks coming back, the reboot, you were really excited about that?
Yeah.
Sorry, apparently not happening. It's been scrapped at HBO Max. The 24 new The Boondocks episodes were set to launch in the fall of 2020. That didn't happen, and apparently now it's never going to happen. But there is some good news. The original series is still currently available to watch on HBO Max, so that'll help you out a little bit, but you ain't getting any new ones.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I'm kind of surprised though, because it was one of those flagship shows that HBO Max was touting before the streamer actually premiered. So it's one of those things that you're like, oh, Interesting. I wonder what happened there. I'm betting a lot of creative differences.
I bet so.
Now, Rick Kunznitt is set for a multi-episode arc in Season 8 of The Flash. Kunznitt, the original cast member who played CCPD Detective Eddie Thawne in Season 1 and was killed off in the freshman finale, hinted in October at a Flash return with an Instagram photo. We can confirm that he will be appearing in at least 3 episodes, and his character is being reintroduced in an unconventional way. Interesting.
I don't know how they're going to do. As you guys know, of course, he's related to Eobard Thawne,
Yeah.
Reverse Flash, and And by the way, all the different versions of Reverse Flash have been showing up everywhere too,
Yeah,
on Legends
exactly.
and they're having all kinds of fun this year. So I don't know. We'll find out what unconventional way means.
Yeah, right.
All right, now bear with me because this is a meaty story, but it's all kinds of good. So you're really going to be excited about this. The Supernatural prequel. You remember the one that caused that little argument between Jared and Jensen because Jensen didn't tell Jared and Jared was hurt, and then they apologized and all that. That one. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Damn it,
Damn, why am I not involved, Jensen? What the fuck? Like the Supernatural prequel, the Winchesters, the Walker prequel. So he's okay. He's all right. Walker Independence and the DC series Gotham Knights. All have officially been greenlit and landed pilot orders at the CW. Now, the Winchesters, as you guys know, was first reported on being in development back in June of 2021, when that little argument happened. Told from the perspective, of course, of narrator Dean Winchester, which is Jensen. The show is the untold love story of how John met Mary and how they put it all on the line to not only save their love, but the entire world. Now, Jensen and Danielle, his wife, are going to executive produce via Chaos Machine, which is their company, with their overall deal with Warner Brothers Television. WBTV and CBS Studios will co-produce Ackles' Supernatural co-star now, Jared Padalecki. Don't worry about him because he's going to be executive producing Walker Independence. Now, as you guys know, Padalecki's currently starring in Walker, which was the reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger on the CW. The prequel is set in the late 1800s. Trying to capitalize on that. It follows Abby Walker, an affluent Bostonian whose husband is murdered before her eyes while on their journey out west. 1880s journey out west. This sounds really familiar. I'm just saying. Yep. On her quest for revenge, Abby crosses paths with Hoyt Rollins, a lovable rogue in search of purpose. Abby and Hoyt's journey takes them to Independence, Texas, where they encounter diverse, eclectic residents running from their own troubled pasts and chasing their dreams. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that one. I don't know.
We'll see.
I think they kind of got that market cornered, but we'll see. People love Padalecki, so I don't know.
Yeah.
This one I'm really excited about because this storyline in the comics, I keep going back. I'm a geek. You guys know I'm a geek, but this is a great story and it's going to be really good. Gotham Knights, and it is going to follow the storyline in the comic books. It's going to pick up beginning in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder. His rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing Batman. Now, as the city's most wanted criminals, the renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. But don't worry, because the Gotham Knights are going to be there. Here comes the most unexpected of all places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known, of course, as the Gotham Knights. Now, in addition, the broadcasters also, we just want to throw this out there, we don't have any information on it, but we do want to tell you that apparently they've given 6 additional scripts for the Zorro project.
Oh.
I think this is the female Zorro project, right? So they must like what they're seeing because they ordered more scripts. We'll keep you updated on that one as we get it.
A lot of good stuff happened at the CW, so I'm super excited for all of it, to be honest, man.
I just don't fuck it up when it's sold.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But Viacom CBS, I think, might be fucking it up, but maybe starting something over. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm talking about another Scream sequel is in development at Paramount Pictures and Spyglass Media. And like I said, it's in the works on the heels of the most recent box office success of the latest adaptation of Scream, bringing back some of the original characters. Principal photography is slated to begin this summer in North Carolina. In keeping with Scream tradition, plot details are being kept under wrap. No word on what the 6th Scream installment will be titled, and it's just so funny because if you went and saw the 5th one, they were making fun of the previous Screams, and not the first one, but the second through the fourth. They were making fun of all those and how they shouldn't have done it and all these things. So it's just like, so you're making another one. Holy fuck.
Yeah. And I mean, from what I understand, this one was kind of a tidy wrap up. It was
It
nice.
was.
It was a nice homage to Wes
was very
Craven.
nice.
It was a nice homage to the original film, and like why?
I know.
Because it made money.
That's what it was.
why. That's why.
It's sad.
Yeah. This one sounds really interesting too. The question is if it's successful, how long will it stay on CBS?
Yeah.
Because it usually jumps to Paramount Plus.
Who knows?
All their other hit shows are. Apparently, CBS has given out a pilot order to a drama about convicts that fight wildfires in California. Now, it's going to be titled Cal Fire. Wow, original. The potential series focuses on a young convict, Bodie Donovan. Seeking redemption and a shortened sentence, he joins a firefighting program that returns him to his small Northern California hometown, where he and other inmates work alongside elite firefighters to extinguish massive blazes across the region. Now, SEAL Team star Max Terrio, love him. Actually, he auditioned for us one time. It was fantastic. Co-wrote the story for the pilot and serves as an executive producer. So I'm super pumped about that. And guys, this actually is a real thing. Apparently, this is based on true people that do this. And so that's kind of interesting.
It is very interesting, and I mean, it just shows the opportunity of second chances. So I think that's very important to see in a society where you don't want to give people second chances, and you're very reserved, and you don't want to let people in, and all the good stuff. But, I'm excited to see this. This sounds very interesting.
Absolutely.
And also, Paramount has greenlit a 5th season of the neo-western rating wrangling hit Yellowstone.
The biggest no shit story of the day.
Yeah, exactly. The highly acclaimed SAG and PGA nominated series from MTV Entertainment and 101 Studios is set to begin production in May of 2022 with the ensemble cast as well as Jen Landon, Catherine Kelly, and have been up to series regulars as well. We just love this show. I mean, like we said, in the off season, we freaking caught all the way up to this thing. We're in love. I really want a shirt. I'm going to get us both shirts that say, like, don't make me get a rip on you or some shit like that. Like,
yeah.
So much good merch
Well,
on Amazon.
I want the one that says, we're going to the train station.
Yes, the train
You don't want to go to the train station. If you've never watched a show, you do not want to go to the train station.
Exactly.
Stay away.
And let's be honest, we all wish we had a Beth in our lives.
Oh my God, don't we all want a Beth? Beth is so fucking phenomenal. Like everybody. I want everybody from that show in my life.
Me too.
That's all I'm saying.
Me too.
And 1883, guys, no word yet, but it's a given because it's the highest rated original program on Paramount Plus right now. It's a shoo-in for a season 2.
So good.
Watch that. That's the prequel to Yellowstone. You want to know where John Dutton became such a badass? This is the show that shows you. Like, you got to watch it. Sam Elliott and LaMonica Garrett and Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, so fucking good, y'all.
So good.
Okay, which only makes sense why this next story, because Taylor Sheridan is the guy behind all of them. He's the king at Paramount. So, of course, they're going to renew all of his stuff, including... They just handed down Jeremy Renner-fronted drama series Mayor of Kingstown, which, by the way, if you haven't watched that one, holy shit. No Western. It's all inside prison.
For sure.
But you remember the sheriff on Yellowstone? Hugh Dillon? He's actually the co-creator of the show with Taylor. So it's all in the family, man. Keeping it all in the family. It's so freaking awesome. Now, Yellowstone's Taylor Sheridan and, as I said, Hugh Dillon are behind this, and it's been given a second season. The renewal is unsurprising, like we were talking about, given the fact that Mayor of Kingstown is the streamer's second most watched original program behind 1883. So let's see. The three biggest on is 1883, Mayor of Kingstown, and Yellowstone.
Yeah. It's so funny, man.
I wonder why they gave Taylor all the renewals. Look, all kidding aside, this guy is he writes every fucking episode.
Every episode.
3 massive hit shows, he writes every episode. Yeah. And cameos in some of them. Yeah. Like, dude, what are you
Very
killing
freaking
it?
talented.
Fucking
so
phenomenal,
talented.
man. So congratulations. That's awesome.
Exactly. Something else that is very interesting and a lot of people will think is awesome is this hit show. Paramount Plus is still on track with its Criminal Minds reboot. Everybody knows this one. Everybody loves this one, but the reboot is going to be very interesting. This comes despite reports last summer steering by comments by series star Patrick Brewster that the project still might be dead at the streamer. Now, Nicole Clemens, president of Paramount Plus, original scripted series, said, quote, "We are still very much in development on Criminal Minds. We'll have more to share that as soon as possible, but it's still alive and well, kicking, breathing, all the blood flowing. And as we originally told you last February, the streamer revealed that it was bringing back the series, which ran for 15 seasons at CBS, with the team coming back together to investigate a single case for over 10 episodes.
Yeah,
so I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. That's a lot of back and forth. So
maybe Paget just wasn't going to be asked back.
exactly. Maybe that's the thing.
Which, I mean, maybe that's why she thought it was dead in the water, which would be horrible because Paget is freaking phenomenal. I love her and watch her. Watch her on the Thrilling Adventure Hour. She's fucking crazy. She's like fantastic. Paramount Plus released the first trailer, and we've been talking about this one, seems like forever, guys, years. The first trailer for the upcoming limited series, The Offer. Now, that, of course, is the 10-episode limited series that centers on the famous Hollywood producer Elbert S. Ruddy and his attempts to get the adaptation of Mario Puzo's gangster classic off the ground at Paramount, a.k.a. The Godfather. Now, Miles Teller stars as Ruddy, who, of course, as we told you, was replacing Armie Hammer, who got booted at the role, and we all know why.
Makes sense.
The Offer is set to make its world premiere. That's right, we have a date for you. World premiere, Thursday, April 28th on Paramount Plus. The series' first 3 episodes apparently are all going to launch on that day, and then following the premiere, the remaining 7 episodes are going to be available to stream every Thursday. So I am so excited about this, because it was turmoil trying to get The Godfather made, y'all. It was no joke. Paramount was not all in, and so this is going to be exciting.
Agreed, man. Agreed. And I mean, the 3 episodes up front and then the rest on the back half, that seems to be the norm right now. If you're not dropping it all like Netflix does, you're doing the 3 up front and then the back half. So, which is very interesting. I mean, I feel like the streamers are trying different things.
Yeah.
Now, a new Star Trek offshoot, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, is in development at CBS Studios. Sharing the name with the late 1980s video game, the series is set among the College of Cadets mentored for leadership roles in the United Federation of Planet Space Force. Now, with in long development, Star Trek spinoff Section 31, starring Michelle Yeoh, expected to get a pickup soon.
Yes, finally.
Starfleet Academy is believed to be next in the Star Trek development pipeline behind it. And from what it seems like, there's like a long freaking line of all these Star Wars or Star Trek projects that are gonna. I know. I didn't finish it. Don't come after me. Don't do it.
Ooh, boy. Hey, I am super excited about this one because I'm a Cowboys fan and I fucking love Tony Romo. And guess what, guys? He's getting into our business now. This is fantastic. Showtime is apparently developing a drama series set in the world of pro football. The untitled series is executive produced by Tony Romo and Chase Crawford from The Boys. Check that shit out. The search for a writer is currently underway. The show would follow the fictitious first family of football and the... Is this going to be about Jerry Jones?
Right.
Tony Romo, is this going to be about Jerry Jones? I see where you're going with this. And the players, coaches, and power brokers behind the high-stakes world of America's biggest professional sport. Yeah, that's right. We said it because America's pastime is no longer baseball. Nobody even watches that shit now. It's all fucking football.
I mean, let's be honest about it. Well, jumping over to the Peacock, NBC, Universal Pictures, and Working Title Films have set Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley to star in The Substance with Corley Forget from Revenge, directing her script. She is producing alongside working title partners Eric Fellner and Tim Bevan. Specifics of The Substance are being kept under wraps, but sources say that Forget's explosive feminist take on body horror. Now, production begins in Paris this May. Very interesting. I love that because we need more female representation and we need it in every single genre, so let's see it in some horror. Very interesting.
Body horror.
Body horror.
Look it up.
Whatever that is.
Google that shit.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Different terms every single day.
Just jump back to Amanda way back then. Google that shit. Hey, were you a fan of Insecure? Well, Prentice Penny, who served as the showrunner on that show, is stepping behind the camera to direct a feature film for Universal. Penny apparently has been hired to adapt New Kid, which is a movie version of Jerry Craft's best-selling graphic novel. Now, the children's story follows a black preteen named Jordan Banks who experiences culture shock when his parents enroll him at an elite private school. Wait, This sounds awful familiar too, Fresh Prince.
Right.
But get this, guys. It's got a big name behind it too. Tony Romo ain't the only one. LeBron James is going to produce New Kid through his production house, Spring Hill Company. So all these athletes getting in entertainment and doing it right, man.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
It really is.
I'm excited for this one. I mean, he's putting out some good content, so
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah.
Jennifer Beals is set to recur on NBC's Law & Order: Organized Crime. She will play the wife of the new antagonist that was introduced on NBC's series this season, Preston Webb, a drug kingpin in New York and the
Such a
head
good storyline.
of the Marcy Corporation. This marks Beals' return to the Law & Order franchise. She did, I guess, a starring role turning on the Mothership in series back in 2007.
Yeah.
So, like, almost 20 years ago. That's crazy.
I love Jennifer Beals. She's fantastic. She's a maniac.
She's a
Look it up.
maniac.
That's the reference. Look it up. Of course, now, we're talking about Sony. The only time we ever talk about Sony is why? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And, of course, we are again. And you want to know how powerful. I just went Canadian.
How powerful.
Powerful. How powerful Marvel is, not just for Disney, but for anybody who does it, anybody that touches it, this is how powerful. With a major assist from the phenomenal global box office performance of Spider-Man No Way Home, Sony Pictures Entertainment has recorded a third quarter profit of $1.314 billion. Now get this, guys. That is up a staggering, and you're hearing this number right, 570% over 2020. Now, as you guys know, going into this weekend through last Sunday, Spider-Man has grossed $1.74 billion globally, becoming only the 10th movie to ever exceed $1 billion at the box office internationally. It's on its way to pass. I think it's gonna, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man.
Top 3 movies of all time. Fuck Avatar. I'm just telling you, it's coming. But get that. That's not it, though. Overall revenues also saw a 122% increase to $4.063 billion versus the same quarter. Why? Sony says, because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which is, of course, a Spider-Man property, as well as higher sales for Seinfeld. They were getting a bit higher money for Seinfeld distribution, so that's interesting.
It's very interesting, man. So many Marvel-esque things happening at Sony. And speaking of, another one's happening.
That's right.
So with the success of these Marvel movies, it only makes sense that Dakota Johnson has been cast as Madam Web in Sony's next standalone superhero movie. It would mark Sony's first modern comic book adaptation to feature a female in the title role. Now, insiders close to the project stress that Johnson's deal is not closed yet, but confirmed that she is in talks to secure the role of S.J. Clarkson, known for her work on the Netflix's dark Marvel series Jessica Jones.
Yes.
And the MCU set spinoff The Defenders has been hired to direct the Madam Web film. In the comics, Madam Web is a key interconnected into the multiverse.
Oh, yeah.
Web often appears as the Spider-Man character in his comic books, where she is depicted as a blind, paralyzed elderly woman who has grievances and a chronic autoimmune disorder, requiring her to connect to life support system the whole time as she's reassembling a spiderweb. That's a lot happening.
Yeah, no, she's a badass character, and she's very interesting. Not only is she, pops up all the time in Spider-Man, and like you said, connected to the multiverse, which obviously we are building, obviously we are doing. But there's another one that she's connected to in a highly big way, and that is Spider-Woman, which we all know has been rumored is coming.
Yeah.
Spider-Woman is coming. So
Exactly.
clearly with this move, that is on the move.
On the move.
Ben Affleck.
Douche.
Dumb fuck. Why would you ever do anything to hurt this adorable, kind, genuine, most loving person ever woman, Jennifer Garner?
She made homemade cookies for first responders.
She brought you to In-N-Out Burger, bitch!
While you were
What the
drunk.
fuck? Well, guess what, guys? Everybody beloved Jennifer Garner. She's coming back to TV. Not an Alias. I know that was long a rumor. Come on, JJ. Get that shit going.
Right.
But she is coming back in the Party Down revival as stars as added her, Zoe Chow, and Tyrell Jackson Williams as series regulars. Now, of course, James Marsden will also appear in the series in a recurring guest starring role. The new cast members join the previously announced returning original series cast members Adam Scott, Ken Marino, Jane Lynch, Martin Starr, Ryan Hansen, and Megan Mullally.
Damn.
Garner is going to play Evie, a successful producer of studio franchise movies who, in the wake of a breakup, is reconsidering her life choices. A fledgling relationship with Henry Pollard, played by Scott, of course, becomes a way for her to explore possible new directions. Party Down received 6-episode order at Starz back in November, and well done, because anything that has Jennifer Garner is gonna do well.
Exactly, and this is the reason why we are keeping our Starz subscription.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, despite the Power Universe and like Heels and freaking BMF, sometimes they're just nothing to watch on Starz, but this is why. They always put out good content right when you don't expect it.
I said anything that has Jennifer Garner will do well,
Facts.
except Ben Affleck. He had Jennifer Garner.
He didn't do well. He didn't do well. Something else that just does not do well and that keeps moving forward, and that is the Walking Dead franchise and universe and all these different things.
Just end it.
Just stop it. AMC, the Tales of the Walking Dead anthology series at AMC has added its first 5 cast members. Terry Crews, which, I mean, we love Terry Crews.
Yeah, we love Terry.
So, I mean, that's exciting. Poppy Lou from Hacks, Parker Posey from Lost in Space, and Anthony Edwards from Inventing Anna, and Jillian Bell from Rough Night have all been joined the episodic anthology, which will consist of 6 standalone stories featuring both new and established characters from the Walking Dead universe. Details about the characters the 5 will play are being kept under wraps at the moment, but I mean, with this cast, it makes me curious enough to tune in, but if the first one doesn't hook me, I don't know if I'm staying around.
That's
right.
That's right. Now, and how are you going to use Inventing Anna for Anthony Edwards and
Right.
not fucking Top Gun?
And not Top
that
Gun.
motherfucker is Goose. You never not call him good. What the fuck?
It's because the 80s were 30 years ago, bro.
Whatever. There's a reason Maverick is coming back. Like, I'm just saying.
Fair.
Hey, and you know what else is coming back? That 70s show. But 20 years later, it's That 90s Show on Netflix. Of course, we're talking about the new spin-off, and it's apparently set its cast of New Point Place teenagers. Callie Haverda, Ashley Offerhide, Mace Cornell, Maxwell A.C. Donovan, Rayan Doy, and Sam Morelos have all joined the show as series regulars. They will star alongside, of course, the previously announced cast members and returning original series stars Deborah Jo Rupp and Kurtwood Smith. As previously announced, the show centers on Leah's foreman and daughter of Eric and Donna. She is visiting her grandparents for the summer, where bonds with a new generation of Point Place kids under the watchful eye of Kit and Red. We all know how Red is.
Right.
Netflix is giving That 90s Show a 10-episode order. I think it's going to do well, and I would not be surprised at all if we don't see more cameos from the originals,
I agree. It's going to be very interesting. And yeah, like you said, I think it's going to do well. This next one is very interesting because it's a huge documentary on Netflix right now. It keeps popping up into your possible like list, which is kind of like, okay, maybe it's because I watch a lot of documentaries.
It's not because you're on Tinder.
It's not. The Tinder Swindler, an eye-opening documentary about a notorious con man who used the dating app to defraud multiple women, could be getting a movie treatment. Netflix is in talks with producers about dramatizing the wild documentary that is likely to make any Tinder users blood run cold. Sources indicate that the conversation is in early stages and that the tone of the potential film is still being worked out, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happens because Netflix loves to make movies from the documentaries that they have. So it's happened with like Ted Bundy and multiple other things, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If you're a fan of The Boys, and you know you are, because who isn't a fan of The Boys right now, you're excited about this story. Apparently, they are definitely moving forward. Amazon, I'm talking about, with The Boys Presents Diabolical. It's, of course, the animated spin-off of the hit show The Boys, releasing a teaser for the anthology series. Now, get this. Along with a reveal of various characters animated in different styles, the teaser also caps with a list of the people that are going to be playing those characters, and holy shit. Aquafina Aquafina, Michael Cera, Don Cheadle, Chase Crawford, Kieran Culkin, Giancarlo Esposito, Elliot Glazer, Jason Isaacs, Kumail Nanjiani, Justin Roiland, Seth Rogen, Andy Samberg, Ben Schwartz, Elizabeth Shue, Kevin Smith, Anthony Starr, Nathan Pedro, Simon Pegg, Kenan Thompson, Aisha Tyler, Yu Young Jung, and Christian Slater, who apparently narrates the new teaser. Now, additional voice cast members will be revealed at a later date. The Boys Presents Diabolical is structured as an 8-part series over the season, with each episode possessing its own unique animation style.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's all going to take place, obviously, within the world of The Boys. That's going to be badass.
That's super fucking exciting, man. I'm so pumped about that. I mean, Seth Rogen and his team are doing some amazing things with this show, so I'm super excited about that.
That's a huge cast.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And we want to say we finally got a release date for Marvelous Miss Maisel. It's in mid-February.
Yes.
So be sure to check that out. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that one. And a lot of New York people got cast in this one. We told you about this back in season 4 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm.
Will Lauren Graham show up?
I know Milo's
That's the
going to.
question.
Milo's going to.
Milo is, so we'll see.
Who knows? Now jumping over to Apple, they have given a series order to the drama Presumed Innocent from David E. Kelly, J.J. Abrams, and Dustin Thompson. Inspired by the Scott Turow novel of the same name, the courtroom thriller series tells the story of a horrific murder that upends Chicago's prosecuting attorney's office when one of its own is suspected of the crime. Apple has given the limited series an 8-episode order. Kelly is adapting the novel for the screen and will serve as executive producer and showrunner via David E. Kelly Productions. J.J. Abrams and Ben Stevenson will executive produce for Bad Robot. Now, that's freaking awesome because, I mean, you saw how well that Chris Evans once did. So I feel like this is a lot like that.
David E. Kelly is just, his resurgence has been huge.
Yeah.
I fucking love that he's making a huge comeback like that. Let's see, Apple's also given a series order to the drama series Dear Edward from that other huge TV guy, Jason Katniss.
Yes.
Parenthood, Friday Night Lights, you know him, you love him. The series will star Connie Britton, Taylor Schilling, and Colin O'Brien. This, of course, would reunite Britton and Katniss, who previously worked on Friday Night Lights. Dear Edward tells the story of Edward Adler, a 12-year-old boy who survives a devastating commercial plane crash that kills every other passenger on the flight, including his family. Shit. As Edward's and a diverse ensemble of others affected by the tragedy try to make sense of it all, unexpected friendships, romances, and communities are formed. Of course, because you go through that trauma. I mean, all kinds of shit's going to happen when you bond.
Yeah.
Apple's apparently given this one a 10-episode order. So
Wow. They're so good with the drama. This is what we've been talking about. Apple is just in their own lane. They're not worried about anybody else. They're not worried about making money. They're worried about putting out good
They
content.
got money.
They're fine. They're fine with money. Have you heard of the iPhone? Yeah, everybody has one. But I'm super excited about it because both of these series sound super badass.
Yeah.
Something else that's kind of interesting with Apple is they don't really make shows for longevity. I mean, that Jason Momoa one and The Morning Show, but the rest of them they're just trying to put out there as a limited series, which is a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
So.
And will we see John Hamm?
Yeah.
Hire John Hamm.
Just do it. Just come on. Just do it. Man, oh man, but now it is time for our guest segment, and we're super excited because we have the one and only Kimberly Brooks coming on the show, and you know her from Voltron, the legendary Defender, Powerpuff Girls, Rugrats, Dexter's Laboratory, I mean, all of the Batman Arkham Asylum games, Arkham City, so many things,
Scooby
man.
Doo.
Scooby-Doo,
She was a Hex Girl.
Like, I mean, just absolutely everything when it comes to animation. She's an absolute badass, so we are just more than thrilled to have her on the show, and thank you again to Lana for this suggestion.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is a fantastic interview, and like I teased all week, you know, you guys might not have seen her. You have definitely heard her.
Facts.
And now you get to see her and that bubbly personality behind all the voices and how amazing she really is in her path to where she got to. It's freaking awesome.
It really is. It really is. Well, here she is.
Kimberly Brooks, welcome inside the Crazy Ant Farm. How are you tonight?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me inside of the crazy ant farm.
Oh my goodness, we are so excited. Not only are we just excited to talk to you because of all the amazing stuff that you do, and we're just super pumped about that, we know the listeners are, but you're also, I don't know if you're aware, but you are also the first guest of 2022 and season 5 of our show. We are kicking off the 5th year. So
it all converges.
Yeah. So you're a first of all over the place for us.
That makes me feel so good. I love it. Thanks for having me and letting me be a part of the beginning of your 5th anniversary.
Yeah,
of course. You're like a guest probably 150, 130 around that area.
Yeah, I think we're definitely 150 or so. So yeah,
but
it's amazing.
I feel like number one.
You are number one. That's right.
So what we like to do at the very beginning of our interviews is have our guests introduce themselves to the audience a little bit. Let us know how you got started. Was this something you always wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into it? Doing our little research on you, we saw that you got started at a very young age.
Yeah.
I did. And I'm lucky because, excuse me, I have teenagers now, and they don't.
No way.
And they don't know what they want to do. It's crazy. So it's like they're trying to, different things. They're in college and taking different classes and trying to figure it out. And I was like, I guess I just took for granted that I've always just made voices. I've always talked to myself. I've played with my Barbie dolls.
Right.
Way too in depth, way too much like detail. My friends were like, oh my God, she's weird. Like, and I loved expressing myself vocally that way. And then, and I've always done theater. I basically grew up here in LA and I went to a school that had a really great theater arts program. So I was in all the plays, musicals, but I always wanted to be an announcer, which is weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Not animation, not like all that. I was like, I want to be like, tonight on ABC. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be Don LaFontaine, basically.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. It was really, really, really just something that I wanted. And I didn't know why. I didn't even know that it was called voiceover. I just was like, those voices, and I would just kind of pretend to do that a lot.
Well, a couple of things out of all that. One, I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, no way she's old enough to have teenage kids. And then teenage kids in college, I'm thinking, oh yeah, 13, okay, sure, whatever. I still don't believe it, but no. Wow. So wow.
Thank
second
you.
of all, right, like when you grow up in LA, I feel like it's always kind of like one or two things, right? You know for sure that's what you want to do, the entertainment industry, or you run like hell to get out of there because it's not anything of what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, my kids, they don't want anything to do with it. So yeah.
There you go. Right.
But yeah, I was kind of weirdly shy. So when I was a kid, like I tried to get an agent and stuff because my dad was a principal at a school with like a lot of kid actors and agents, and it was weird. So like he kind of like got me an interview, and I didn't do well because I was like I didn't interview well because I was kind of nervous and shy.
Right.
But when I'm on stage doing my thing, I wasn't. But I didn't really know that yet, just I didn't really hone in on that. But so, yeah, growing up in LA, you do have an advantage. You definitely have an advantage because, everything's right here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I talk to a lot of people that want to get into voiceover and they live, all over the country because I've been to a lot of conventions and but now you've got the internet, so
that's right. Yeah.
That at least is something that can, bridge that gap that otherwise would not have been, the case. You had to be here. So, and the business has changed a lot. I've been doing this for like more than 25 years, probably. So, it's changed a lot. It's very digital now.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can literally, like you said, be anywhere, record your audio file, and send it to whoever needs it, and just crazy.
And now the phones are so great. You can even like do your audition on a phone if
right.
if you're in a pinch, So it's really interesting.
That's really cool. I love that though. I love that. I mean, just to have all of this knowledge about the entertainment industry. And when you started doing your voiceover work, did you have to like go into a studio and do it opposed to now like doing it at home?
You did everything. You did nothing at home.
Yeah.
Like, unless you were Don LaFontaine.
Yeah.
Who had a studio at his house.
That's right.
But before he had that studio, he was like chauffeured in a limousine.
Yeah.
to all of the different studios. Like that's like that was my vision for myself. And I'm like,
Love that.
I don't have a chauffeur, but I do get to go to a lot of different studios.
Was the transition from like theater to voice acting difficult for you?
No, it was
Because I
think
guess
it's
when you're not on camera, you can still act big, right? Like,
right. And you can act big in the booth. I'm very
That's right.
expressive in the booth. I'm like, yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm like knocking stuff off my stands all the time. But yeah, no, you can it was a really great easy transition, I think. I think I encourage theater people to try voiceover because you have to come up with characters, and sometimes people think voiceover is just about the voice, but it's really about the acting for
right.
animation.
Yeah.
And for me, and then the character comes from like having done so much, acting in theater and scenes and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely start there if people want to do animations, not just about the voice. Obviously, the voice you got to be able to do
Right.
different characters and whatnot, but start with the acting. So that theater background definitely helps for sure.
Oh,
For
yeah.
animation and video games and all that stuff.
Exactly, definitely. I also have a little bit of a theater background. I performed when I was in high school, and I will say that it just got me out of my comfort zone. It made me more confident to be able
Yes.
to talk in front of people. Even when going into audition, we went in on a stage, and the directors, the musical and acting director, were in the audience, so you couldn't see them. All you saw was the bright lights, but you had to be prepared to
You had to-
do your
yeah.
monologue. And I mean, something about that just elevated my confidence like crazy. And so I feel like theater is a great way for everyone to break into acting, because if someone wants to be an actor and then they attempt to go out to Los Angeles and they just jump straight into the room, I feel like if they don't already have that natural born confidence, then it
confidence is
might,
huge.
yeah.
exactly. It might like derail them a little bit, because you wouldn't.
Yeah, you could get discouraged.
Exactly, because we talk about it all the time. It's about 90% auditioning and 10% actually working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all about that. It's a numbers game. You
It's
gotta do
Exactly.
literally
everything
an
on top of
industry
this.
built on rejection. So if you're not
Exactly.
confident, you're in trouble. Like,
I
you
am
know.
rejected every day.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sucks.
And another thing I really like that you brought up though, because you said the voiceover and how important the acting is, right? I
Yes.
think a lot of people tend to forget, especially the millennials and anybody beyond right? Back in the day, it was all voiceover. Radio serials were where the acting was.
Yes.
Every week
I
there was
love
a
radio
show
serials.
or a movie on the radio,
Yeah.
and you couldn't see, you could only hear. And it was
It's
so
true.
crucial for the acting to come through back in the day with the fireside chats and around the the family getting around. That's how it was. So I'm
That's
so glad
exactly
that
it.
you brought it up, because I don't think people really realize how much acting actually is involved in voiceover work.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm like, when you get a number of auditions and you have to switch gears and you got to have those acting chops to like just to be able to put yourself in the scene.
Right.
And yeah, so I for sure you need to I think everyone should take an acting class, but if you want to be an animation voiceover actor, you got to take an acting class. You have to do that. You just have to. It's just a part of it. And then the voices, that's just something that, it comes. When I was in high school, we had career day, and there was a psychic in one of the rooms, and it was like a really popular room. And I went in that room, and I got picked to go up, and she did like a reading on me, and she was like, "You are going to be very successful, and you are going to make." She told me, and this was when I was in high school, you're going to make a living with your voice. But I didn't know what voiceover was. And
Right.
I was
Right.
in musical theater, so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a band. I'm going to be a rock star or something. And so I don't know what I thought, because I do love singing. So speaking of confidence, I feel like I kind of, like I took all that acting stuff, but I had this kind of confidence when I went into voiceover, and it's all about confidence.
yes.
Because there's so much competition, and confidence is like you selling yourself. Like if you believe yourself to be the thing, then other people will believe whatever it
That's
is that
right.
you are trying to be, or what you are, what you really are.
Right.
So yeah, having that confidence and the background in theater, it was just a really natural evolution.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of interesting too, because before there was social media, before everyone was a brand, before they were selling everything, actors were a brand before any of that was put out publicly. Like they had to present themselves, basically present paperwork about themselves, like a headshot, resume, all that good stuff.
Here's me.
Exactly, on a piece of paper.
Totally.
So I mean, it's very interesting to see like the transition and how like the world and the entertainment industry have navigated through this electronic time and digital age, like you said, to keep moving forward.
Definitely. And think about voice actors back in the day before people really could connect with voice actors. Because this kind of thing, like an interest in what I do, wasn't really the thing like when I started, because it's considered like behind the scenes. It's not like on camera acting. Yeah. And now it's like everyone wants to do voiceover, and it's so much fun, and it is acting. Even though I had this one guy once say, "What do you do for a living?" And I go, "I'm a voiceover actor." And he goes, "What's that?" And I go, "Well, you just hear me, and you don't see me." And he's like, "Oh, so you're like a half an actor. You're like half acting." I just thought that was so funny because
and you have half a brain, right?
You're like
sir?
half, yeah, exactly. You're like half-witted, right? No.
So that's interesting though, because Logan brings up headshots, and back in the day it was actual photographs and all this.
Oh yeah.
So talk about that process, like voice actors, like you said. You're not on camera. Nobody could care less what you look like. So what is a resume or demo reel or headshot for a voice actor? Do you have to, like, even back in the day, did you have to submit voice work? Or, like, how did that work? What's the audition process like?
You just always, it was the demo reel. And when I started, it was on these little tapes called DAT tapes.
Yeah.
And you would go and they would, like, you'd hire someone to mix to make yourself a reel. And when you first start out, you kind of have to like make stuff up. You know what I mean? You have to it's more like showing what you can do.
Right.
And then you get to a point where you actually have work and things that you can put on your reel. And then you get to a point like me where you haven't redone your reel in like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years.
Because they call you now. You don't have to be like,
kind of. And also you're busy, but you're also kind of lazy.
Right.
So it's all of those things. So, yeah, in fact, I was just talking to my son about I'm like, they have this thing called the internet, and you can go and you can find like some of my performances, and I'm ready to put together a new reel. I really need help with it, and because I'm really busy.
Right.
And there's so much good stuff out there that I haven't like gathered up and put, and I'd like to see it myself. So I'm in the process of trying to do that, because I think people still, when they want to hire you, they still go to they would go to my agent's website, and my agent has all of the actors' demo reels and
that's cool.
I haven't been in there. Yeah, I think that's because sometimes I'll get a job and I don't know how I'll get it, and my agent says, "Oh, they listened to I'll book something, and they'll be like, "Oh, they went and listened to your promo reel."
Right.
Which is like so old. I have so much cool stuff I could be putting on there.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of the cool stuff that you've done in the past, we just have to name a few. I mean, I have a long list that's just
huge.
like crazy, but I mean, at the top of the list, of course, Voltron, Legendary Defenders, Scooby Doo. You were a Hex Girl. That's so badass in itself.
Oh my God, that's why my daughter, I have to tell you, obsessed with the Hex Girls and that Scooby Doo, and just wore me down with the song over and over and over. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh God, I love being a Hex Girl with Jane and with Jennifer. It's so much fun. Yeah, we've done some stuff kind of recently, so we're still around. We're still,
don't. Okay, we can't let Emily hear this. She's running out right now. The Hex Girls are still around. What?
Right, that is just
we're still
funny.
around. We're still around.
I love it though. I love it.
So those are some fun memories, because one of the first times I got to work on Scooby Doo was with all the original cast.
Yeah.
Frank Welker still does it, but this was when all of Mary Kay Bergman and
good last name, by the way. No.
Yeah.
That's his last name. Yeah.
That's a good one. And Casey Kasem. And,
oh yeah.
And Frank Welker, and just it was so much fun to get to work on that project, and continue to work on Scooby Doo. Warner Brothers is awesome because I get to work on a lot of different shows.
Like a bunch of DC stuff, which
Yeah.
I just fandom out of. I mean, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, I mean, your Bumblebee, I mean, just so many different things, Bumblebee. I was huge because Titans, that was my first thing, that's where I first was introduced to her in comic books. And then I was like,
Right.
oh, wait a minute, they're actually going to do this? And I was like,
Yeah.
and Oracle, I mean, just so many cool things. So yeah, Warner Brothers,
Thanks.
kicking.
Yeah, thank you, Warner Brothers.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That was like some of my first jobs were at Warner Brothers. I worked on Dexter's Lab. It was and what was some of the other shows? Static Shock.
Oh, yes.
All of those
Powerpuff
really-
Girls,
yeah.
like
That's where I was really, starting out young, and I had, that was like some of my first jobs, and it was
How
just,
so
I
cool.
loved
Wild Thornberries, just so many different things. Rugrats.
Yeah.
So yeah. Nickelodeon jump.
Nickelodeon, yeah. Nickelodeon has also been very, very good to me.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I'm working on several Nickelodeon shows right now. Baby Shark. Have you guys seen Baby
Oh
Shark?
my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah. Who hasn't at this point, right?
It's so cute. It's so cute. Yeah, I have a fun little role, and we get to sing. See?
See? Yeah. There you
Bring it
go.
back
Full
around to
circle.
singing.
It's so
Yeah.
great, though. It's so great. We actually, because like we told you before we started recording, that we are a film and television production company. And so we put on multiple different hats and juggle different things. So we have
awesome.
different people that come on board and help us out. And our social media manager is the one who actually suggested us to reach out to you and try to get you on the show, Delana.
Aw.
So we wanted to ask her to ask you a question or write up something. So I'm going to read
Okay.
what her question is. And she said, I'd like to know how your experience was like working on BioWare as a voice actress in a Mass Effect franchise. She loved Mass Effect and it had tons of female representation in the
yeah.
kind of game that usually lets men take the lead as the strong ones and portray women as just people to come home to. And she just absolutely loved it. And she said you're an inspiration. So because
well.
she's trying to be a voice actor, she's breaking into it as well.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for that. Good luck with your pursuit because it's awesome what we get to do. And as far as BioWare, as far as Mass Effect, I mean, it's just an amazing game
Right.
to be a part of. I mean, the technology around that game was developing as that game was happening. So we started out kind of like basically how all video games were made, where you just, it's like not in order, and you just
Right.
have all these different endings, and you're totally by yourself in the booth, and you don't have any reference other than what the director's saying, like as far as like proximity to the other person you're talking to, or those sorts of things. So, you might have a scene where one person's shouting and then the other person's talking like this, so it makes no sense. You know what I mean? Because if you didn't record it together and it was recorded, 8 months before this part, and blah, blah,
Right.
blah, it's just that's how games were. But BioWare, they were cutting edge with their technology because
Yeah.
they came up with the software and the way of recording, and everything was done at why am I going to space on? Not Formosa. I'll think of it. I'll think of it. I'll
There you
think
go.
of it in this Technicolor.
There you
Everything's
go.
done at Technicolor, and so it was the same engineers and everything. So they really honed in on how to do it. And so by the second game, the acting I think really improved because technically I would see with Jennifer Hale, who is Femme Shep, the lead, which is the point, is
Yeah.
you could have the lead of this whole game be a female.
Right.
And that
Right.
was just cutting edge, and you could switch, and their love interest could be, same sex or whatever. It was just amazing.
That's awesome.
And it wasn't being done before. And
Right.
it just gave people the freedom to be who they are and express themselves they want, and people, they express themselves through these characters, and so it gave people that freedom, and I think people fell in love with this game. And so the experience was amazing, and I still get to do, N7 Day, November 7th.
Yeah.
There's always a panel or something like that.
Right.
I still so much love all these years later, and I'm hopefully, and then they, remastered it and released it back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so it's just the love continues, and I love love. So
For sure.
That's right. Well, and
I
it's
hope
gotta-
I hope there's more games, and they can call me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just got to be an amazing feeling to know that you're a part of something that is like ingrained into society now, right? Because I mean, Mass Effect and BioWare, that they are ingrained into society now. Even if
Totally.
you're not a gamer, you have heard of them. You know what they are. That's got to be an amazing feeling.
It is. It really is.
I want to get a little deep for a minute, just because, as of late, the last couple of years or so, right, we've seen a lot of recasting, if you will, to have a black woman voice a black woman as opposed to a white woman and different things like that. Talk about that a little bit. Coming from that standpoint, what has that been like for you in your career? Have you had those things when you first started out to be like you didn't get a role, or you did get a role and nobody cares? And how much has that switched now for you in the industry?
I don't feel like I lost out any roles that were specifically for black women to women that weren't black. I don't feel like I have that had that experience. But what I have noticed is there's way more roles for me to audition for. There's way more representation.
There you go.
And it's awesome. And not just for people of color, but just, gender identity and just whatever. You know what I mean? Like just whatever people want to talk about and what people are going through. So I feel like that part has been amazing because, I'm just like working on, especially in animation. It's just like,
For sure.
it's just really cool. In fact, I now am a cast member of The Simpsons because
There
something
you go.
like this. Yeah, there's a character named Lewis.
Yeah.
If you guys look up Lewis, he's a friend. He's only been on he's like in the background. He's one of those friends that's always with Bart and his,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And he was voiced by another actor who works on the show. Her name, actually, it's Tress McNeil. She's like, she does every character, female
Basically,
character.
yeah.
Freaking amazing. But I guess, in an effort to just not having people appropriating
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
cultures and, and all of that stuff, which is amazing. And I think it's important that was something that happened for me. So now I get to voice that character
Well, there you go.
on The Simpsons. But also because, I work for Fox too, and I do a lot of stuff. So I feel like I earned it, like I got
Right.
to.
Oh,
Definitely.
without doubt.
Without
Without
doubt.
doubt.
But it was it was just like a gift, a beautiful gift.
And the reason I bring it up is because it tried to bring it full circle to what you were talking about earlier. I think so many people they don't understand that it's not just in front of the camera. Everything that you see happening, or all of the discussions, or all the topics of the way the industry is shifting, isn't just in front, but also behind. So all of the actors and the hard workers and the performers such as yourself are going through all of that the same way the people that you see every day are
Totally.
going through that. So I'm glad to hear you say that, and that it is that transition, and that you have seen success and those major changes in voice work as well, because good. That should be
It's
that
like
way.
opportunities. Yeah. We just, it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
More
And
of that.
something that new that I've been wanting to, because we took a little off season, obviously with the holidays, and like
Yes.
both of us are recovering from COVID and just a whole
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we feel
you guys
much better
okay?
now.
Oh, yeah, much better now.
We feel so great. We literally felt like we were dying there for a
I
while.
mean, yeah.
We
How
feel
scary. Did you guys have it at the same time?
We did. The whole household had it. So
Yeah.
like it was just crazy. And here, double vaxxed, boosted, everything. Wear the mask everywhere we're supposed to wear. Didn't
It
matter.
just happened.
It just
Everyone's
happened.
getting it. It's
Exactly.
oh man, I'm so glad you guys are feeling better. But
Thank
that's
you.
scary.
We appreciate it. We appreciate
So
it.
scary.
But something that I've been reflecting on and trying to think more about to get to know our guests a little bit more is to ask, what is your main goal for your career? Like, what do you want the ending outcome to be? What do you want your legacy to be, basically?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a deep.
Yeah.
That is very deep.
I try. I try.
Hmm.
Right? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's not. It's just a great question. And I think what I want is, at the end of the day, is to just have enjoyed my experiences and the journey of it. And that's what it is, because it's a fun journey, and it's also, I don't know, it's magical, and I feel like it keeps me young, and I feel like I'm like, I just get to play, like, I don't know, maybe someone who gets to play baseball for a living.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's like you did that as a kid and it was fun. Like, feel like I did this as a kid and it was fun, and now I just get to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking to my son about, and other young people, is like, don't worry about what people are saying, or that it's difficult, or you can't do this, or everyone has that thing inside of them that's it's like a dream or something that you want. You have to listen to that, and you have to follow it, because everyone's is unique and it's there for a reason. So I feel like I was lucky because I was able to hear that voice inside of myself. And so I think at the end of the day, I just want to have listened to what I wanted to do, trust it, go with it, and enjoy what I do. And then also making people happy. You know,
Yes.
I meet
Yeah.
so many people that just, whatever, like, I work on this show called Steven Universe,
Yeah.
which is just like it's so close to my heart. It's such a beloved show, and
Yeah.
and the fandom's incredible, and I've met so many people, like cosplayers and just people that really identify with the characters and what Rebecca Sugar was trying to say with the show. And I've had so many stories that like bring tears to my eyes or that just melt my heart, and I just want more of that, because that's that's the good stuff in life. You know,
Right?
there's too much hard stuff.
That's right.
So being a part of like the good stuff that people love, like you saying, me being a part of your childhood, and
Yeah.
I just want to do more of that.
If
So,
something that's just a simple thing that you do can
Yeah.
change somebody's life, what a feeling that is, right? What
Yeah.
a feeling that is. They can
And
be having the
yeah.
worst day of their life, and they see you or they hear you, and then everything is okay. And that's an amazing thing to be able to do for people, without doubt.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
And I'm the same way. I mean, I have to turn on like something if I'm not feeling great, or if I'm kind of down or something.
Right.
Like, I need something or someone lots of times to help me like get out of that place, and it's usually in the form of entertainment, whether it's
Because that's the escape. That's what
the
entertainment is
escape.
supposed to be, right?
Exactly.
Like you said, there's so much hard stuff in reality already. We don't need that. We need the good
Right.
stuff. And so let's
Right.
escape to some good
Let's
stuff.
get the
And
good
so-
stuff.
Exactly.
And I'm so grateful, like I said, like for like podcasts like this and for just the internet in general, that I now know that what I do like affects people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And before I didn't know that, you know, it was like more of like as like kind of a selfish thing. It's like, I just want to be an actor and I want to do my
Right,
thing. But now
right.
when you're realizing like, you know, you can communicate with people and
That's right.
move people, or it's just wonderful.
It really is. It's a special thing. It really is.
It's awesome.
It definitely. And something else that we've been focusing a lot on with, like we were talking about earlier on the show at the beginning, with the industry being full of rejection, and you say you get rejected every single day. How do you keep your mental health sane? Because you seem like a very happy, bubbly person. You have the key to the happiness. So I just want to know how you keep your mental health good.
I feel really blessed that I get to do, because I just I'm happy because I'm doing what I love doing. I just found out that I'm doing I'm actually having my first session tomorrow, that I'm going to be one of the announcers for the Beijing Olympics. For
Yeah.
yes,
like,
yes.
I'm
Badass.
Super
so
cool.
excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, so tomorrow's my first session. Even though it's at 7:30 in the morning, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. But yeah, I would say, wait, part of your question was what was
Just keeping your mental health sane.
keeping the mental health. That was it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Mental health.
Yeah.
Forgetfulness is great because you know,
Exactly.
all the
Just forget
rejection.
about all the rejection.
Yeah, that's like live in the moment. For sure, let it go.
Yeah.
So when you audition, I do this all the time, because like today I had like seven auditions. Meaning, and since COVID, I do everything from here.
Right.
I record myself. I'm my own engineer, my own director, my own everything, and I get on my own nerves. But so my auditions are just like so hard for me.
I can
And
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just I need another ear. Like I need someone going, yeah, oh, that's funny, or like, or that's not, or this character, no.
Right.
Like today, one of my auditions was to be a utility player on a popular show. So a female utility player is someone who would come in and do like 3 or 4 characters
Right.
on that episode, and they have to be distinct and different and stuff like that. So
Right.
and when it's an audition, you want to show that, oh wow, I'm going to do this character and that and character. So, but it's like draining and exhausting.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, just not having that. But sorry, mental health. We're getting back to that.
You're good.
So
You're good. I love it.
I do my work.
Mm-hmm.
I work. I make my choices, and then I just let it go
Yeah.
because you don't like every once in a while there'll be something like, oh, I really want this. I really want this, and I'll
Right.
be thinking about it. But 99% of the things, I do it. I do my best. I imagine myself already, like I'm in the session. It's not an audition. It's like, this is how I would do it if I had the session.
Right.
Like if I'm, and I just kind of do it like that with confidence, and then I let it go. So lots of times when my agent calls me to tell me that I have a booking, I don't remember it. I have to go back and listen to the audition, or it'll be like, oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Right,
Okay,
right.
it's kind of like that. So, but that helps me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, dealing with the rejection, and it's not really rejection. That's not the right word.
Yeah.
It's just not yours.
Yeah,
You know what
right.
I mean? It's okay. Like, and when you get a job, because when you get a job, you're not questioning it and asking,
Right,
like,
right.
why didn't I? You're just like, you just do. It's just, you have to have the same attitude when you don't as you do when you get the job.
That's
It's just
right.
like, it's just not mine, but this one is, and this, you know what I mean? So.
That's great.
That's kind of
I
that's
mean-
my mental health for a shortcut to actors to not take it personally and to just persevere
Oh,
and
for
keep
sure.
going.
Well, and it's great advice too, because like you said, rejection is not it's the word you always hear, but it isn't the right word, because
Yeah, it's not the
you
right word.
probably knocked it out of the park and nailed it. It just wasn't what they were looking
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
day. We had a previous guest, Tony Winters, who compared it to like luxury cars. He's like, I'm still a luxury car, but I'm a BMW, and they were looking for a Porsche that day.
Yeah, they wanted the Porsche.
Yeah,
It's
it
fine.
doesn't mean you didn't do a fantastic job.
Right.
And half the time when you don't hear back too, we've had guests tell us they nailed it, and the casting director would tell them months later they would hire them for something else, and it's like, because
Yeah.
of that audition you did 6 months ago, we knew right
Yeah.
away just wasn't that role, but we were
Right.
waiting for you. So you got to
And
look at
I've-
it that way.
I have been lucky enough to have people tell me that, because sometimes you don't know it did happen, but you don't necessarily know.
Right.
And I've had people go, "Oh, I'm so excited to finally get to work with you. This, that, or the other." And,
Right.
there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen making
That's
decisions.
absolutely
and,
right.
And so it happens, and it's even happened where I've been replaced on something, and it's hard not to take it personally, but it's like it just didn't fit for them, or it just
Right.
didn't, whatever. So and it's fine. And
Exactly.
you just go on. And you just go on.
Exactly. The show must go on. The show must go on. I love it. I
Yes,
love it.
I love
Listen, this has been absolutely amazing.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
can't thank you enough for this.
Thank
I feel like
you.
the up and comers trying to break into it are really going to enjoy this, and they could really just take down some notes. I mean you have so
yeah.
much.
And it's
Just-
always a blast to have people like yourself on, because, we pride ourselves on having like literally everything in the entertainment industry, right? Writers, producers, directors, voice actors,
Awesome.
actors, like different things, because we have somebody that works with us that wants to be a voice actor, right? There's always somebody out there that wants to be something that somebody
Yes.
is. And so we feel
Yeah.
like the more opportunity we get to put guests on that are those people, that are the people doing that. I mean, it's just wonderful for us. It's wonderful for them. It's wonderful for you. And it just,
It's wonderful for
yeah,
me.
we,
yeah.
we
Because
could
I
not.
remember when I wanted to be
Right.
Yeah.
this, and it's like, of course, and then here I am. So
just
and,
awesome.
and the next person, they're coming up, and it's wonderful, and there's room for everybody's dreams. There's room for everyone
Exactly.
to do
I love
what they
that.
love to do.
That's
That's
right.
that's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
There's
That's right.
room for everybody's dreams. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there really is.
I
There
love
really
it.
is.
I
It's
love
like-
it. Well, listen, thank you so much. Like I said, we really appreciate it. And where can everybody follow you? Because, it's all about social media now.
Oh God, and I'm so bad about that. I actually have my friend's daughter helping me post things.
Oh,
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
I am on. Oh gosh, I should look. Let me look. I'm gonna
Let's
tell
just
you.
double check real
So
quick.
on oh yes, so Kimberly Brooks 11 on Instagram,
Okay. Yep.
and then Kimberly D Brooks. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I
at the
didn't
time,
know.
on Twitter.
There you
on
go.
Twitter.
There you go.
Who knows my middle name?
It's
Kimberly
very
D. Brooks.
thin, but you have the same profile picture on both, so that makes it much easier. Like when people are
Oh,
trying to
yes.
find you, it's like, oh, okay, that's the right one.
Oh, it's like it's her. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like-
Exactly. Yeah,
I
because
love
it's
it.
like I have a very common name. There's a lot of Kim Brooks out there.
Yeah. Sure.
Exactly.
But you can find me. Just,
Oh, we'll make sure. We'll make sure everybody goes your way. So yeah, just wow,
Yeah.
what a gem you are. The
Aw.
smile is so infectious. We just
It
can't help
really
but
is.
smile when and we get to see the smile. So there you go.
I know, it's awesome. Thank
Exactly.
you so much. This was really, really fun.
Of course,
good.
of course. Open invite anytime you ever want to come back on. We have an industry news segment where we talk about entertainment news. We have a top 5 where like sometimes it's top 5 animated movies.
That's
This
right.
time
Like,
it's,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like there's just so many different things that we could have you back on. And of course, another guest segment to promote things that you're
sure.
doing. Like we said, we're always down
Like
because
Hex Girl reunion.
Yeah, right.
Get the Hex Girls all on. That'd be awesome. That'd be.
we should do that. We
we
should
should
definitely
totally
do
do that. Let's make
Oh,
that
my
happen.
goodness.
Oh my gosh, Emily will be like right here. She'll be
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
that.
exactly. That's
Oh,
so
well,
great.
you guys also, I found out recently that I'm nominated for an Annie Award
Oh, okay.
for Best Actor for Bumblebee.
That's
Nice.
yes.
Congratulations.
It's in February.
Yes.
It's coming up, so I don't know how it all works, but
Right?
excuse me, I was
best
really
of luck.
excited to hear about that.
I
Thank
totally
you.
think you should win because I
Ah,
love Bumblebee
thanks.
and you do a great job
Bumblebee
playing.
rules.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll see, but it's just cool to be it really is just cool to be nominated.
We'll
I was
start the
like,
campaign
what?
right now. Don't worry.
Exactly. Exactly.
Get it, Annie's, yeah. I don't even know who votes. I don't
Right?
even know.
We'll find out.
Oh,
We'll make sure.
find out. We'll do our research.
That's right.
We have people.
Yes, get the people on it.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen,
Thanks,
take
you
care.
guys.
Have a good night, and good
Thanks
luck
so much.
tomorrow with your first taping and all that good stuff.
Oh
I know,
yes.
I'm really excited.
I can't wait to listen to you because we'll be watching for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You'll hear me on the Beijing Olympics.
Very nice. That was an exclusive right there.
Exclusive.
That was it right here.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen,
Thanks,
take care
guys.
and have a great night.
Yep.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh man. That smile
I
just
know.
like lit up the room. She like through the Zoom, it lit up the room.
Through the Zoom.
She's so fun.
She is like absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like I can't thank Delana enough for even recommending her because
mean-
like she is somebody who you want to have around. She's
Yeah.
got that knowledge. She's got the personality of like someone who can encourage you like how far to go and like has so much advice on what to do in the entertainment industry.
And the perfect mix of confidence and humility.
Yes.
Because you have to be cocky and confident, but you also have to be humble and thankful.
Facts.
And she was the perfect mix of that.
Agreed,
Oh my
man.
goodness.
So good, so good. Thank you again, Kimberly Brooks, for coming on the show. All right, now it is time for the top 5 segment.
Yes.
Man, oh man, we're super excited. It's only right that after an amazing interview like this with a voice actress that has done basically all the cartoons from my childhood and from his dadhood, we talk about favorite childhood shows, and she is part of some of them. So I'm super excited about that. So my number 5 is one that she was in, and that is Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes.
This is one of the first shows that I remember as a child growing up, and I felt like it was such a cool thing to like think about that kids could possibly do it all. We could have a hidden lab in the back of our house that our parents don't even know about and create these amazing things. And then plus all of you that have siblings, you realize that Dee Dee is the exact same thing as your siblings when you're trying to do something awesome that they can sometimes come and just mess up your whole life and
Yes.
your whole invention and all that good stuff. But Dexter's Lab was such an entertaining show. And I mean, Cartoon Network in the 90s and early 2000s, they had it going on, and this was a part of that. So that's why number 5 for me is Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest. My top 5's got a lot of my childhood crushes and maybe still adult crushes.
Maybe still adult crushes.
Okay, definitely still adult crushes. It's fine.
It's okay.
And the
It's fine.
first, my number 5, and it could have been number 1. It could have been fallen anywhere on this list. Honestly, is the lovely, amazing, talented, beautiful, my childhood and adult crush, Linda Carter. I'm of course talking about Wonder Woman.
Of course.
If you are my age, you know Wonder Woman was one of your favorite shows in childhood because it was fucking epic. And they did it so well. It started off in World War II and then it transitioned into the current times. And, look, Linda Carter set the bar, man. Around that time frame is when Christopher Reeve was Superman. Linda Carter was Wonder Woman, and they were setting that bar to which all of the stuff now is following. Patty Jenkins will tell you, everybody. Snyder will tell you this, Kevin Feige. These are the two that they try to emulate moving forward with all the superhero movies. And there's a reason for that because they were spot on fucking perfect. And Wonder Woman was a family show. It was fun. It dealt with some serious stuff. I mean, Nazis and all kinds of, early on and stuff. But it did it in a way that was entertaining and kids could watch it with their moms and dads. And one of the very first shows early on, women. It's strong women lead, that took charge and inspired a bunch of young ladies to get out there and do their shit. And so Linda Carter, she did that for a lot of amazing women, probably Patty Jenkins, no doubt.
Yeah.
So yeah, number 5, Wonder Woman. It was
a good one.
Love it.
Right. So good. While you're saying that, I reflect on it seems like a lot of kids shows in my time weren't really as popular live action. I get a lot of them were cartoon. The only one that kind of comes to mind is Blue's Clues. But even fucking Steve was there with an animated character. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see how
I got some animation though. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see how the entertainment childhood world progresses.
Yes.
Number 4 for me is kind of like number 5. Codename Kid Next Door.
Ooh.
Where you kind of are spies saving the world, and you're a kid, and you feel like you can do anything. I feel like that's what a lot of my shows that I've put on my list very well represent are children doing anything that an adult can do if they put their minds to it.
Yes.
And if they are educated enough. And that continues on to today with if you are educated enough, you could do anything. That's just how I feel, and how I feel like how these shows implemented their wisdom, I guess you could say, on me and how I move forward in my life. So, Codename Kid Next Door. Every character that you have 1 through 5, and they were all freaking different aspects of one's life. You had number 1 who was the thinker. He always had a plan and he was going to lead the team. He was a very prime example of a leader. Number 2 was very smart, very much the brains. You could be an inventor. You could basically come up with anything you put your mind to. Number 3 was just goofy, happy-go-lucky. No matter what came to her, she just let that shit roll off, and she was happy, bubbly, all that good stuff. And number 4, strength, always ready to go, amped up, no matter what. If you come at me, I have the courage and the strength to come back at you. And number 5, just that style and coolness, with basically how you approach life and how you approach others. So I feel like each one of these characters is a part of all of our lives. So I got really deep with that one.
No, yeah, but that reminds me of one of my childhood favorites that I almost put on the list and then I didn't because I wanted to put a couple other things on there. But Battle of the Planets or G-Force. Same thing, a group of these 5 individuals all with their different strengths and weaknesses that come together and they're all numbered, had the numbers on their shirts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I fucking loved that show. It was Battle of the Planets and then it, G-Force is what it, kind of became and, but yeah, just fucking loved that show. So that it reminded me of that. But I did go with this animated show. Definitely one of my all-time favorite shows. One of the things that I used to, as a kid, draw the shit out of. I was so in love with my babysitter, who was a huge fan of this show, and I would draw her these characters damn near every day to try to impress her. She loved them, by the way. Still didn't happen, but she loved them. I'm, of course, talking about Smurfs, who pretty much indoctrinated every child in existence back in the early 80s into the cult of little blue beings 3 apples high. Papa Smurf, Brainy Smurf, Vanity, like that, and of course Gargamel and Azrael. And it's just like, it was a really fun, awesome show, you know, with a kick-ass theme song, la 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 la, and then Smurfette. Who the fuck didn't love Smurfette? Come on! I mean, Smurfette, the only woman amongst all the men.
Most desirable.
Clearly most desirable, but I just fucking loved it. I mean, it just, you know, it's goofy fun. Smurfs were goofy fun, and I loved them. So my number 4, Smurfs.
Makes sense.
And who didn't love the Neil Patrick Harris live action version? I mean, come on.
For sure.
Fucking great film.
Come on now. Come on. Number 3 for me is my introduction to anime, and I'm sure it's a lot of people's introduction to anime, and that's Naruto. And I mean, this is a prime example of a kid being like back up against the wall. First episode of the pilot. Nobody wants to talk to this kid and basically banished because of what they believe is inside of him and that they think that he can't overcome. And he grew up as an orphan, and that didn't matter. He basically kept pursuing becoming a ninja, and he never quit, never gave up, and he always had a dream, and he chased that dream every single day, and he made sure to remind everyone about that dream. And it was just such an amazing character, and there was different friend groups that weave in and out of the show that I feel like are very important, that you can show who belongs in your circle and who doesn't belong in your circle. And even if they're not in your circle, you have people that are important to you your entire life. And even if they're doing their own thing and you're doing your own thing, that's okay, but they will always be important to you. And when you call, they will answer. So that's why Naruto, number 3 for me, like I said, introduction to anime, and it's just such a good storytelling show. Yeah.
Got deep on that one too.
I know.
Fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So my number 3 is beloved show that like literally spun off so many other beloved shows. Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy. I would call out the other one, but Jackass is being so fucking stupid lately. I'm not even going to reference it. But anyway, I am of course talking about the legendary Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Little Ronnie Howard, not so little, you know, obviously grew up. Henry Winkler is the Fonz. I mean, I guys, who didn't fucking love this show?
Exactly.
It was just good family fun about, you know, somebody that's perceived as a bad guy, but really a good guy with a big heart. Of course, talking about the Fonz and his friendship with, you know, Richie Cunningham, and, you know, just basically coming of age story of all these kids. In the time of 50s and 60s, and it was so fun to watch. And of course, you guys have known this guy just learned where it comes from, jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Where it may have gone too far and they really had nothing left else to do, and Fonz water skis and jumps the shark, and that's where the term comes from, when you might have peaked too soon and you jumped the shark.
Yeah.
But it's a brilliant show. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, Gary Marshall behind so many different things. Penny Marshall, you know, spawned Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy, and went on to all these huge, amazing careers because of Gary Marshall.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a fucking Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Arnold. He was Arnold on Happy Days. I can't help it. You know the theme song. You sing the theme song. You know you do. You just like Happy Days. I'm waiting for that. They had an animated cartoon. They did a Happy Days cartoon around. Yeah, you know, a few years later. It didn't go over as well as the show, but, you know, they tried and it was fun.
Exactly.
Anyway, my number 3, Happy Days.
So funny, man. So funny. Number 2 for me, I mean, I talk about this one all the time when it comes to DC superheroes and DC characters, and especially DC animated shows, and that is Batman Beyond. It's such a good show. Everybody knows how I feel about that one with, Bruce Wayne passing on the mantle in a new society and all this different stuff. The Return of the Joker is one of my all-time favorite animated films. Yeah, just Batman Beyond. You guys know how it is. It's such a good show. Everybody needs to watch that one.
Spawned from
Batman
the animated series. Yeah, I mean, like it's some of the. Batman the animated series would have been totally on my list, but I was a grown ass adult.
Yeah,
and I loved that fucking show, and I didn't miss an episode. But I was an adult, and this is childhood favorite, so it didn't make my list. My number 2, my other current And childhood crush, current crush. I love her to death. If you're a Grey's Anatomy fan, you know who she is. She Karev's mom. She's just a brilliant woman inside and out. And I am, of course, if you grew up when I grew up, there wasn't a single time that you did not watch these two shows. The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. You so wanted Steve Austin and Jamie Summers to get together. And finally, in the late 80s in the TV movies, they finally got married. They got their shit together. I just fucking loved this show. Like, who doesn't love the idea of building them better, faster, stronger, and kicking ass? I mean, come on, they fought Bionic Bigfoot, for fucking sake. They fought Bigfoot. Who doesn't want to see that shit? And the fembots with oh my god, these shows were so amazing. But honestly, I mean, I loved Steve Austin and the Bionic Man and the $6 Million Man. But the Bionic Woman, I was all in. Oh, Jamie Summers. I wanted to marry Jamie Summers. Everybody wanted to marry Jamie Summers, and Wonder Woman. They were right there. Two. They were right there. And she's phenomenal. Like I said, Karev's mom on Grey's Anatomy. Yep. She has long since continued the career and just still a phenomenal actress and a phenomenal woman. But I couldn't get enough of them. I had the action figures. I had my twin sis had Jamie and I had Steve, and it was everybody wanted to. And Max, Jamie's dog, the Bionic dog, Maximilian, the German Shepherd, beautiful. Oh my fucking god, these shows were so good.
Oh man, that's
my
so
number
funny.
2, and I couldn't just pick one. I had to pick both because I feel like they're a unit. $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, they're connected.
They are. I mean, let's be honest about it. They are. Oh my.
Well, of course, Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors. I'm talking. Those were the Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman. I didn't even say their names. Lindsay Wagner. I love you, Lindsay.
That's so funny. So funny. Number 1 for me is the one that I would wake up every Saturday and just watch. Yes! Hopefully, just catch it on any time of the day, and that is Tom and Jerry. That is by far one of my all-time favorite. Cartoons growing up. I absolutely love all the movies. I love, I was even a decent enough fan of the new one that came out. I thought it was pretty good, like I said. But it's just classic fun. There's nothing you have to think deeply about because, we watch a lot of content in the entertainment industry. So we have to sometimes figure out these puzzles before, coming to the end result. But with Tom and Jerry, man, you just enjoy, laugh, have a good time. And I feel like that is what is most important in today's society. You just got to sit back, enjoy life, and just, have some time with your family, family, and friends. So that's why Tom and Jerry is my number 1.
It's why I drew them. I love Tom and Jerry, too. It's longevity. They, too, were one of my childhood favorites because they've been around for that long. Forever. And they were a cartoon when I was young and when he was young. Yeah. So there you go. Now, I have to ask, though. Are you more of a fan when they're friends or when they're enemies?
So I like the movies when, they work together, but they're not happy about it. I would prefer them being enemies.
Yeah, me too.
And freaking bringing the dog in on it. And getting in on Tom. But
totally.
Yeah, I like the movies where they have to work together and then, I don't like when they talk though. I don't like when they talk.
Yeah.
Keep them mute.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, my number 1. Dun, 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 dun. This is you could not grow up in my era and not have this as your show, your cartoon, the one. I'm talking, of course, Super Friends.
Super Friends.
And I'm going to tell you this, okay? It started off as my childhood favorite show. Well into my adulthood because I was a grown-ass teenager and it was still on. It was the legendary superpower show, Super Friends, when I was a grown-ass teenager. My little brother had started getting into it, collecting all the figures and everything. But, there were so many different incarnations of the Super Friends. And then there was the Super Friends, then the Legion of Doom, and then the Super Friends, the legendary superpower show. And just whatever incarnation it was still the Super Friends. And it was my favorite fucking show ever. And I loved it, and I still love it now. If I'm flipping through and it's on Boomerang, I stop and I watch it because it's fucking brilliant. The narration and the meanwhile back at the Hall of Justice. I fucking loved it. I just could not get enough of it. And when they started introducing the new characters like Cyborg and Cyborg, fuck Teen Titans on Cartoon Network and all that. The first time we saw Cyborg on fucking Super Friends and the Superpowers Collect. That's where Firestorm, Black Lightning, all these people. If you want to know where they've seen them first, fucking Super Friends. That's where I saw them first.
Right there. right there.
Just saying.
Oh my goodness. Well, we want to know what your top 5 or your number 1 favorite childhood show was. Please be sure to leave a comment in the comment section, either on any of the podcast platforms or on YouTube. We like the fan interaction, or add us on Twitter at JLoFantastic and at CrazyAntGuy1970. We love it. We absolutely love it. Well, heading over to the box office recap. Spider-Man is still number 1, taking that 1 week off and then coming back because, I mean, let's be honest about it. I personally, I know you did as well. I contemplated going to go see it again.
Oh, yeah.
I almost went and saw it again at least 3 different times. So no doubt other people are doing the same thing. So it's still at number 1. It pulled in 11 million last week. Number 2 is Scream. That one's still kicking, doing pretty well. It pulled in 7.2. Mm-hmm. Sing 2 came out, and it is still doing pretty well with 4.7 million. Still need to watch the first one.
Yeah, I want to see the second one so bad.
Yeah. Redeeming Love is at number 4 with 1.8 million.
Is that the Pam and Tommy story? No,
that's different. That's different. Be sure to check that one out, though.
Talking penis, that's all I'm saying.
Number 5 is The Kingsman with 1.7 million. And they say new movies that are coming out. Moonfall, The Worst Person in the World, Jackass Forever, that's the big one that's coming out this week. Last Looks, and The Long Night. But next week, not this week, but next week it's going to be like the Nile one, the
with Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
yep.
and
that guy that they won't show in the previews.
Yeah, that guy that won't show. And fucking Marry Me.
Yes.
J-Lo and Owen Wilson, which I want to see. That one looks good.
Yeah, you know.
I think it looks better with Owen Wilson than it did probably with Armie Hammer. So I'm glad
totally
they went
agreed.
with Owen
Totally
Wilson.
agreed.
Movies you can still go see right now: The 355, American Underdog, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Licorice Pizza, which I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about, and West Side Story. So you can go to your local theater and watch that. And IMDb Pro's top trending segment has all the good stuff. You guys know. It has an amazing section to where you can email publicists, try to reach out for acting gigs, production gigs, all these different things. If you're a filmmaker or if you're an actor trying to break into the entertainment industry, this app is for you, and it's only $20 a month. You do get a free trial, so there's always that. You can just try it out if it's not your thing, if you're not completely committed, which we know some people are like that. It's okay. Just let it go. It's fine, but at least try it out. It's definitely worth it.
You need it. If you're serious about the industry, you need it.
You really do. The top trending movie this week is Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno. Have you watched this one yet?
I have watched it finally.
Isn't it great?
And it's fantastic.
It's so good.
If you guys, you really do need to see it.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, take advantage of it. Be able to watch it. It's outstanding. Good family fun.
Seriously.
It's good family fun.
Pixar does not fail.
I'm never fail. Never fail.
They're so damn good. Top trending show is Ozark, which I've actually heard right where I dropped off is when shit started getting real. So I'm like, fuck, do I go back and watch this again? Yeah, but that's top trending show, and by no surprise, with that being the top trending show, Julia Garner is the top trending star, who is like, the breakout star, I guess you could say, of this show that everyone loves.
So amazing. She is such a phenomenal actress. She was amazing in Americans, which is where I first saw her, but yeah, have been a huge fan forever. She's just getting it done.
For sure. Well, guys, that's episode 183. We appreciate all of you for listening and watching. We got to thank our guest, Kimberly Brooks, one more time for coming on the show and getting a little crazy. You can follow her at Kimberly Brooks 11 on Instagram and Kimberly D. Brooks on Twitter. So
yes.
Be sure to check her out. And you can follow the company and podcast on social media. You guys know we're everywhere. You can follow the podcast at ITCAFpodcast, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can follow the company on at Crazy Ant Media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So be sure to check those out.
It's the same on everything.
We're so good at that. We're so good at that. And you guys know you can follow us both personally on social media. We love the fan interaction. We love having a conversation. Myself at JLoFantastic on Twitter and Instagram, and
at CrazyAntGuy1970.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you get to your podcast, and that's Apple Podcasts, Apple or Spotify, Google Play Music, Anchor, Podbean, Stitcher, all the good things. We're literally on everything. And you guys know you can watch us on YouTube. be sure to hit that like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications coming out of Crazy Ant Media. Stay up to date with the craziness. And be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We just ended a free shipping promotional sale, which if you were following us on any of our social media accounts, you would have seen. Our next one is on Valentine's Day. I think that's 20% off, so be sure to mark your calendars on that one. Like I said, we have all the Valentine's Day merch out right now, so be sure to share the love with some crazy love.
Yes,
we love it.
So much great stuff on the website, guys. You can find out where we're at with our film. You can watch some of our favorite interviews, from the podcast. You can buy the merch. You can learn what's going on in the company. Visit the website.
Do it. And of course, we got to thank our sponsor, Self-Pause. And self-affirmation, all about positivity, all about helping others, just be motivated and continue going on in life and chase your dreams.
Yes.
That's what we're all about, so that's why this is a perfect sponsorship for us.
Absolutely.
But it's been an amazing episode. I think the industry news, we blew through it, first and foremost. I loved having Kimberly Brooks on the show because she was an amazing first guest of the show, and I'm excited for all these upcoming guests that we have booked and that are going to come on the show. But I will say I'm really excited about the offer.
Yeah.
The offer is going to be so good.
Super pumped about the offer. I am super pumped about the Gotham Knights.
Yes, that one's going to be good too.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about that. Really excited to see Jennifer Beals coming back to the Law and Order family because I'm a huge fan of her.
Really excited about the Titans characters.
And I'll tell you what, you guys heard it. You heard it. And so we're going to stay on it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to see Hex Girls are coming back.
I really hope so.
It sounded pretty good. Kimberly made it sound pretty good. So we're going to be, oh man, that's probably my favorite part about the interview is when she said that. And I was like, what? And you heard. Maybe having all the Hex Girls on for a little reunion.
That'd be wild.
How awesome would that? If you or anybody of their age or Emily's age or my daughter, a Hex Girls reunion would be epic.
It would.
Well, we're gonna try to make that happen. But yeah, some of my favorite parts, and and how can you not love the Tyler Sheridan stuff? I mean,
right.
That guy is that's the way to get shit done in Hollywood, guys. I mean, it's so inspiring.
If you're not watching any of those 3 shows that we listed, you are missing out.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Huge.
Great content, and it's something really for everybody. But man, oh man, next week we got Sammy Haney from Raising Dion.
Yes!
We're super excited about that one, so be sure to tune in next week. But man, it was an absolute blast doing this episode. We thank you once again, and you guys know we love the one, the only Oprah!